So the opening round then, and for challenger Terry Marsh, the fireman from Basildon, or Tilbury actually, in Essex, and the reigning champion Clinton McKenzie. This really is a kind of, let's have a really good look at Terry Marsh. Been around a long time, as he says, he's been quite undiscovered, but he's unbeaten as a pro, 14 wins and 1 draw. But he's up against experience here. World-ranked McKenzie, 39 fights. He's lost only 9 of those. And really been a globetrotter in every sense, McKenzie. And I'm wondering now how Marsh is going to deal with the southpaw style. There it is, McKenzie. Fought in America, won and lost there. And beat to Africa, Denmark, Belgium, all over McKenzie. But at 29, you're just wondering now just how much championship fighting he's got left in him. Well, certainly Terry Marsh has talked a very good fight as he came in, and now he's really got to live up to that a little bit. School's chess player, won the championship, so let's see if he can really turn this into a thinking boxing match, which is not easy because one punch can change a lot of that. Certainly Marsh's straight punches now has already fathomed out the right-hand forward style of McKenzie. He's caused a lot of upsets in his amateur career. Defeated Joey Frost and was very angry that he wasn't sent to the Moscow Olympics instead of Frost. Defeated Chris Pyatt in the ABAs, and he won 3 ABA championships and appeared in 5 finals. But all those statistics now are really somewhat meaningless, really, because it's all about styles and will on the night, and the man who's fittest and with the will to win, and of course the skill then that comes from both of them. So Marsh has been head hunting with those long punches, and the little what they call tucking inside punches coming in from McKenzie to the body there. There it is there. Looks as though the pattern set Jim Watt for McKenzie to do a bit of counter-punching with this fellow. He's doing most of the leading, Marsh, isn't he?
Yeah, well, I was thinking the fight depended on if McKenzie could get close to Marsh. Well, he's getting close all right. It hasn't gone to work yet. It's early days in a 12-round fight. But we expect Marsh to do his best work in the early part of the fight and the early part of most of the rounds. But as I say, I don't think McKenzie's actually gone to work yet.
When you think of the difference in pro rounds at these fellows, Marsh has had 108 and McKenzie 313 pro rounds. And is a bit of a record chaser because he's equalled the British title fights now of most British boxers, with the one exception of Henry Cooper, who's now had 10. This is his 8th championship fight. And it's really warmed up right at the start, and tremendous atmosphere here at Shoreditch. Round 4, and on my card, certainly Terry Marsh has stolen those first 3 rounds all right. He just hasn't allowed McKenzie to trap him. Used the ring well, as they say. Perimeter of it most of the time. There it is there, you see, look. No doubt McKenzie's saying to himself, I'll probably catch this fellow as we go along, but it'll get tougher if he's not careful, because Marsh has taken some good fighters on in his time and surprised them. But really the first limelight fight of any sort that Terry Marsh has had to win a final eliminator against Tony Sinnott in Bradford to get this shot. So he is the official challenger. It just started to unload a bit more, McKenzie, but he's having to take him as he goes in, Jim.
Yeah, he's taking him all the time. He's certainly lost the first 3 rounds, but I think this is what he expected, and he's quite prepared to do that. As we know, Clinton can do things the hard way when it's needed. But he's just trying to keep Marsh under constant pressure and hope he can burn him out, I suppose.
His last fight, McKenzie, against the American Brett Lally at the National Sporting Club, that was a tough fight. He had to get off the floor to win that one. So you're just wondering whether he is coming to the end of the championship reign or not. But I've seen him do this before, McKenzie. He's been in some absolute thrillers. Colin Powers, He won the title originally from Jim Montague or Monteague in Belfast back in '78. Then lost and regained it. And as I say, this is his 8th British Championship fight, and he already owns a Lonsdale belt outright. So a minute to go then in round 4. And when the match was made, I always felt it would be an intriguing contest, and it's turning out that way. It's just the question now, Jim, whether Marsh can really keep the pace up.
Yeah, well, he's certainly boxing well. He's never been distressed at any time in the fight at all. He seems quite happy with the way the fight is going, just to keep moving back and try to pin McKenzie on the end of the jab. I think it's going to be down to be a case of does he have the strength and the stamina to keep this going for 12 rounds.
Well, it gets a bit easier, I imagine, Jim, when you are landing the punches and not taking them so much. You feel he can stay the course.
Yeah, definitely. I think Marsh is looking pretty happy. As I say, he's not distressed at all. His punch variety is good, and he must know himself he's winning the rounds. The rounds are becoming a bit more difficult for him, but he's still managing to steal them from Amman.
Seventh round, and what a hard championship fight it's been. And I suppose in many ways, for people who haven't seen Terry Marsh, the challenger, starting a bit of an upset as he starts the second half of this fight. And for a great deal of it, Clinton McKenzie really been chasing rainbows a bit. He's been trying to wear the challenger down, as Jim Watt has said, but he hasn't always had too much success and really can't reach his chin too much. The one draw on Marsh's record is actually against Lloyd Christie, Errol's brother, and that was in London. The pattern's been absolutely the same from the start as we're into the 7th, really, with McKenzie always trying to chase Marsh, and Marsh very cleverly picking him off. McKenzie getting some success, but simply not enough. The volume of punches definitely have been coming from Marsh. Still managing to keep the straight punches going, Marsh, isn't he, Jim?
Yeah, Marsh has got on his bike a bit more in this round, which is exactly the thing to do, to try to make McKenzie swing and miss, which will tire him out quicker. He was a bit stationary in the last round, which gave McKenzie some success, but he's back on his bike now, just trying to pin McKenzie on the end of the long punches.
Is that what you champions do? Try and pinch a rest halfway through by getting on the bike, as you say, moving round?
Yeah. But this is actually a difficult part of the fight, because they have 6 hard rounds behind them and the prospect of 6 even harder rounds ahead of them. So they'll have to ask each other, or ask themselves how much they want to win the title.
Seems pretty desperate. Terry Marsh has always said he's never been a truly hungry fighter, but if he can't win this, there's not much point in him going on boxing, which might sound actually as though he wants to get out, but it's exactly the opposite as far as he's concerned. But McKenzie's always been a tremendous competitor, proved it right from the ABA's Olympics and through to these championships. He fought a world champion, Bruce Curry, and lost to him in Las Vegas. The champions at this weight, by the way, are Gene Hatcher from Texas and Bill Costello, both Americans. So round 10. And the southpaw advance of the champion McKenzie goes on. And this really solid piece of boxing coming from Terry Marsh. It's almost as though the fireman from Essex has sort of turned on the water hose all the time, just flicked away at the opponent coming in. And really he's doused quite a lot of the fire in McKenzie's fighting tonight. And where do you think McKenzie is? An old hand, 39 fights. He's only lost 9, a couple of those controversial and disqualifications, against a man who's had 15 fights, 14 wins and 1 draw. Got a vast experience as an amateur, Terry Marsh, and he's had to box all around the country. The old Have Gum Shield will travel to really kind of make a name for himself and win a final eliminator against Tony Sinnott. A couple of family men here trying to be the breadwinners here and take home to the wife and kid. Remember, they're boxing for £17,800 shared 60-40 champion and challenger, but if Marsh can come up with it, it'll be his turn next time up. It's a gritty show as always for McKenzie. That you can always rely on. He'll give it all he's got. If he's going to lose the championship, he'll go out fighting like a champion. Well, Jim, has he really got any chance of just pulling that out now? I doubt very much that he can find the blow.
I really don't think so. We've never seen anything to suggest that he has the power to knock Marsh out. It's possible, but there's been nothing to suggest it. And I think Marsh realises all he has to do now is keep out of trouble, keep pecking away, let the fight go the distance and pick the title up in points.
I tell you this, Jim, he must have done a lot of road work and exercises to keep in good shape. He's always been on the move, always flexible.
Yeah, that was the one doubt I had, how a contest at this level, how it would suit him, how his stamina would be, but no question at all. The kid's in terrific shape.
Well, I don't know whether in 30 seconds left of the round whether Marsh wants to slug it out. It might be a bit foolish, Jim.
Well, Marsh has made more mistakes in this round than he has in the whole fight up till now, so if he's going to change his mind and change his approach, he could run into trouble. He's making mistakes, but his reflexes have got him out of it earlier on in the fight.
Yeah, but he's doing enough to get over the mistakes, isn't he? You see, that's what it's about. Look. And a little wink to the fans as Terry Marsh went back to the corner there. He's certainly got a lot of following in the south. Reminding the boxers to touch gloves, having been to the corners, to say don't forget this is the last round, and just checking on McKenzie's left eye cut. And it's been an incredible exhibition by, let's face it, the virtual unknown Terry Marsh from Essex, Terry who perhaps in the rest of the country, and Clint McKenzie, the old pro, really has had a struggle to hang on to the light welterweight championship here. Jim, what my concern really for Marsh's tactics in the last few rounds, getting caught with that smudge of blood around Marsh's left eye, may have come from McKenzie, or is he cut, Jim?
If he's cut, it must be very slight because it's not bleeding, the blood's just sitting there.
No, I think it's when they were in close, it must have come from McKenzie's eyebrow. Oh, the referee got caught with the back of them there. As McKenzie was going to the body, he's throwing everything. Crowd chanting away. With a minute gone in the last round, it's just, you could cut the atmosphere with a knife here. They'll go crazy when that final bell goes. And talk about call out the fire brigade for the fireman from Tilbury here, Marsh. I wouldn't be surprised if those lads don't jump to the ring. What a sensational finish. It's been a good, hard and clean fight all the way through. The skill coming from Marsh, who some of us wondered whether he could really last the course, whether he had the stamina. He's flagged a little bit in the last 2 rounds, and McKenzie is really pulling everything up that he can to try and get it out. but always also running into trouble. That's the problem. The style of Marsh has been against McKenzie's type of fighting. And he's still, we're past the halfway stage in the last round, and McKenzie, with a minute to go nearly, is really pitching in there with punches still. But Marsh, I think, getting some satisfaction out of trying to outfight him, Jim.
Yeah, I just don't think he has the strength to move away anymore. I think he's just trying to grit his teeth and hang on for that final bell. He's taking some good shots, he's taking them.
He is. The left foot just wavered a bit there, didn't it? He needs to hang on, and he's fighting back. You won't see a better finish to a championship than this one. The crowd on their feet. Majority after Marsh. Two-handed stuff. What a gutsy show this is. 30 seconds left. Should he be doing this, Marsh? He should be hitting and running, I would have thought. But he wants to win that title and really be acclaimed a great champion. Another guy who's done it by moving and boxing alone. 15 seconds, the heads are bouncing like billiard balls in there. And we're into the last 10. It's too late for a knockout because the bell would interrupt any count. And Marsh definitely flagging, but managed to pump the arms away.